without a doubt. Striking and throwing bear some resemblance. Both of these actions share the same goal, which is delivering a projectile to a target area. And, for their execution, they depend on the same elements of the human body's infrastructure. Because of these, and some other similarities, in popular understanding, these actions have fused together to the point where they are usually thought of as closely related and practically interchangeable. For example, most, if not all, have been taught to serve by going through the throwing motions. This is a big mistake, which creates and reinforces this false stereotype in the player's mind. When, in essence, striking is different from throwing, as much as riding a motorcycle is different from riding a bicycle. In striking, very different physical processes and forces are at play, and that should be made clear from the very start. Because understanding correctly what exactly you are dealing with automatically triggers the appropriate response and the right choice of actions. While misrepresentation or distortion of the true nature of such things creates belief in some false reality, which can only lead to a whole lot of unintended consequences, none of which will prove to be benign or beneficial to the task at hand. Conceptually, throwing of the ball is a very straightforward proposition. The ball is held in the hand, and in a sense, it becomes a part of your body. The hand, with the ball in it, is accelerated, creating the kinetic momentum. When the hand releases the ball, this momentum sends the ball on its way. What is important to take away from this? That the momentum, which carries the ball, is the product of the thrower's physical efforts only. No other external force is involved here, except for what the thrower has managed to generate with his own muscle power, and hopefully an intelligent use of his physical assets in order to boost his performance. What is fundamentally different about the striking, and will require some major wrapping of the brain around it, is that the ball never becomes a part of the striker's body, and ultimately it is not propelled or directed by the forces which the striker generates, but it is propelled strictly by the forces which are created at the very instant of its collision with the striking implement. These collision forces are surprisingly powerful and explosive, and they surpass any forces which the human body can ever hope to deliver. As you can see in this clip, no human assistance is even necessary for these forces to form and to send the ball back at half of its incoming velocity. That is why the ball travels a lot farther by being struck than it ever does by being thrown by hand. To be able to strike the ball effectively, it is important to understand that the striker can affect the ball's behavior only indirectly, through harnessing and manipulation of these collision forces. To go back to the bicycle versus motorcycle analogy, a striker has to be free from the delusional idea which urges him to pedal harder, when all that is needed is turning the throttle. All in all, the role of the striker is nothing more than the facilitator of that brief encounter between the two main actors. The reason why all the good ball strikers look so effortless and at ease is simple. Because the job of facilitator is physically a lot less demanding, and on average, it also pays a hell of a lot better. Such an elaborately crafted racket path, with all its twists and turns along the way, or launching oneself in the direction of the incoming ball, is a complete and utter waste of energy and resources. None of it has any desired effect on the ball. None whatsoever. These misguided and ultimately futile attempts to manhandle the ball, instead of simply striking it, are driven by deep-rooted belief in Alice in Wonderland reality, where causes and effects are simply made up and human limitations are not even considered. Keeping oneself busy with performing the ritual dances or secret handshakes like these does not bring the ball any closer to compliance. It results only in ball striking, which is erratic and unreliable, the source of anxiety and frustrations. Oh, and wrinkles.